Hello, my name is Rashad Muhammad. I am your host for Pole Position, and I'm with Dr. Jeffrey Brown, who's running for Lansing City Council at large. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a true pleasure.
Awesome. Now, I feel like I know you so well already now, but if you could, can you give our viewers a sense of what got you into the political landscape and you wanting to serve the community of Lansing?
You know, I have a rich heritage, my family, of serving the community. My grandmother was the first African-American to attend Lansing Eastern High School, and for her lifetime of service, they named the school board room after her.
Oh, sure, that's dope.
My grandfather and my uncles have served and retired from the city, so public service was something that I learned at a young age and recognized as part of your purpose in life. 20 years later, I've been building community, working with multiple government departments, and I knew like never before the time is now that our community together needs to be uplifted. So I wanted to uplift Lansing, and that's my vision, my passion, and my heart of why I feel I can be effective doing that at City Council at large.
Okay, so in that role of City Council, when you think about, provided you get elected and after your term is finished, like, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want the legacy to be that no matter where you started, what your circumstance has been in life, if you have a vision to better the people around you, better your community, connect to your neighbors, and be a part of your city, be a part of the heartbeat and the rhythm of everything that it means to live in the rich city of Lansing, you can do it. If you take one step forward, have faith, and trust that anything is possible.
Okay, so just sharing my own experience, earlier this year, I had a situation where, I had some members of the Lansing Police Department drive to my backyard, and I felt violated, and it was the manner that they did it. And I had a friend reach out to me and say, you should talk to your city council person. And so it was in that interaction that I got a better sense, of the role that city council persons can play in advocating for the people. Can you give us a little bit of background on how that relationship works from the city council person at large, and how that breaks down in the wards?
Absolutely. So it's not exact, but just to make it simple, if we look at my hand, and let's say the city is broken up into 4 sectors, first ward, second ward, third ward, and fourth ward. Okay. You have one ward council representative who is hyper-focused on a section of the city. Okay. And then you have 4 at-large council members who are partnering with those ward members to reinforce and advocate and support the wards. And so you have a collective legislative body of 8 council members. Okay. And the elections and the terms are alternated, so you don't have potentially all new council people at the same time. Okay. And I'm glad that you reached out, unfortunately, with the situation that you had, but we're able to connect to your council because that is your representative. And you talked about, what is the legacy? I want to be the ambassador of the neighborhoods as the voice that echoes and amplifies the will of the people and helps be the institution of innovation, the institution of change, the institution of support to the residents, to my neighbors, to my family, to my friends in that position. And so often we have sometimes elected officials that we never meet. I want to be very connected and engaged in my community. I give everybody my phone number because I believe it's important if I'm representing somebody that starts with relationship. Right. And you can't have relationship without communication or dialogue.
Yeah, that's true.
And then relationship with communication and engagement and learning someone. Even you said, I feel like I already know you. it wouldn't be if we have not done things together or taken action on what we've talked about.
Yeah, for the record, Jeff beat me in a game of pool. That was a few years ago, so I swear I vowed to get my revenge. So just to, going back to your platform, so I know you're running on a platform, I'm paraphrasing, stable neighborhoods, transparency, accountability, and collaboration. Why do you think these issues are the core pillars of your platform?
Talking to thousands, I've personally spoken to almost 10,000 residents in Lansing. And their number one concern is public safety, making sure that their family, in their neighborhood, in their home is safe. And so that is my number one. When I say stable neighborhood, you can't have stability without safety.
Right.
And then from there, we talk about roads and infrastructure. And I look at infrastructure and roads a little different than most people. We all have had, the vehicle where the tires popped off. We usually have all-wheel drive for winter for safety, and then, you go there, one pops from a pothole, and you have to get all four. And it's been a challenge for myself personally as well.
Yeah.
But I've served people with disabilities for almost 2 decades as well. I'm a very strong advocate and love my people with disabilities. And when it's been wintertime and I see a person in a wheelchair stuck in a pothole, or an individual that has mobility issues or walking with a cane and is concerned or has fallen and I'm jumping out the car, not that I'm the best person, most people in Lansing, are like that, they'll do that. That's where it says that's important to me.
Sure, absolutely.
And education, people want to buy homes and live in Lansing and want to make sure that their kids are educated. A lot of people are not aware that the school district is separate from the city, but it's something that's pivotal or instrumental to the health and the vitality of our community. And so safety, your neighborhoods, the infrastructure, education, and of course, this social injustice that we have, taking place all over the nation, and making sure that we have equitable solutions, empowerment, and economic opportunity for all people is very important.
That's a good segue to my next question. I know you spoke about education, and even though this is a college town, college is not necessarily the best fit for everyone, right? How do you think that we could elevate some of these additional alternative educational pathways for our young people and help them make that transition into adulthood?
I believe in alternative education options because myself, a lot of people don't know this, but when I was at Eastern High School where I graduated, from Lansing, went to Gunnisonville, Fairview, Pattengill, and then Eastern, I had the great opportunity to be a part of the vocational program in technology. And so I would go, to the classes half the time and get the credit and learn an actual technical skill. And that skill gave me the advantage that I needed in corporate America and in leadership, because a little bit older than I look, we were at the forefront of the computers and the really using cloud-based systems and all that. And so being able to learn that, I was getting jobs because I already had the computer and the technical skill that I needed.
Right.
My sister, she went and she loved it. She was at Harry Hill in the auto body mechanic program. And so she was painting and fixing cars. And
your sister's still in Lansing.
Right. But it was a wonderful thing. And I was actually very proud and impressed because she brought, I'll never forget, and she's probably going to get in trouble because my sister is very shy, but she brought this hood that they were painting, and it was, like damaged, and you fixed it up. Right. And I'll still never forget. I was like, my sister, I said, where did you get this from? Like, you took it off of, one of the car shops or custom shops or anything? Right. It was black with gold flakes. And it looked like a master painter had done it. And it was my sister in high school.
Wow.
And I've mentored people and I've helped people with jobs and supporting. I've worked with welding, trucking, a lot of different industries. Part of my role in the community that I've adopted and created opportunity for others is making sure that people are educated and empowered, and whatever that looks like for them. So for me, getting back to recognizing that education is not about passing tests. It's about being purposeful, and everyone has a different pathway forward. How do we encourage, support, and foster opportunity for everybody? Because we can't be hopeless if we don't have, a master's degree or whatever it may be.
Sure. So, speaking about that in terms of access, there's been quite a bit of development. Actually, just driving down the Michigan Avenue corridor, like this past weekend, I noticed it just feels like a different city, But how do you think we can encourage that same kind of growth throughout the city of Lansing? I'm thinking about the south side, north side, east side.
I wanted to think about my words before I responded, because what you're seeing it seems like a different Lansing is because we've invested in different parts of Lansing. So I heard the question that you asked me, but on a deeper level, I think it's the manifestation of the reality of where and what we think is important in Lansing beyond just the building.
Right.
So when you say, well, how do we do that? Is we have to recognize that we're one community, one family, one culture with diversity in it, right?
Sure.
And so if, for example, we do not have true inclusion and equity with economic investment in certain areas of our city, then that's the best our city is, versus saying, well, let me show you this shiny thing we have over here in this section. We have to really say we value everybody in every community. I have friends in every narrow road. People sometimes say, how did you know about this road or shortcut? Because I'm from here.
Right.
And I love people. And so we have to look and say we don't value people based on how much money they make. Because what I'm seeing, and I've seen for years, and this is not just in Lansing, is that, you know what, I'm gonna I know this isn't in the script. I did a quote. I put it in my, I have a journal called Be Inspired, a moment of inspiration can change history.
Right.
And this is what I wrote. And this is where I'm going with this is, most people, most treasure is hidden because of its value. Most treasure is hidden because of its value. If you search for the treasure in people, you'll unlock their value. So the things that are important to us, whether it's our personal or our finance, it's usually hidden. And you have to look beyond, the surface of what someone's wearing or where they live to find the real treasure in people.
So I do want to quickly, since we're riffing
here. Yeah.
So oftentimes when you see this kind of development happen in cities, it's, minorities who are getting locked out of the development. How do you think that we can have that mindset of growing our city and being prosperous, but also creating avenues for the whole city of Lansing to be able to benefit from that as well?
We have to demand a seat at the table. It is very difficult, I'll be quite honest with you, and many people in Lansing know me personally. Running for office is something very difficult.
Right.
Financially, psychologically, spiritually. It's something that you have to believe and be very passionate about, to say, you know what, I want to make a difference and I'm going to give everything that I have to do so.
Right.
And completely expose yourself to everybody's criticism, the media, different belief systems,
sure.
Physically, right? Door by door. And that is part of the passion that has driven me to do that, is because if we don't show that diversity, when I'm at doors and talking to neighbors and constituents, I say, have you heard about boards and commissions, or have you heard about this, or you're very passionate, I would love to see you, and they don't know how. They don't feel like they can participate sometimes, certain people.
Right.
And I tell them, you can. Let's do it, and let's do it together. Let's uplift Lansing. And so when I get in office, if everybody votes for me, I want to make sure I'm one of the most engaged representatives in the community, right, and being an advocate to bring people into opportunity and to rooms where they demand a seat at the table so their voice can be heard and they can become the difference. Not make a difference. No, you are the difference.
Well, I think that's a perfect way to wrap up our interview. I have one very, very important question. All right, and I switched it up on you. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I'm laughing. So I'll tell everybody, because this is how I am. He had a different question before. So I'm laughing. So I'm going to answer the first question. They don't know. He originally asked me, do you do sugar or salt
in the grits?
In the grits. And I told him neither, because it's high in sugar, both of them, and we need to watch our healthy lifestyle.
I felt like that was a cop-out, so I'm coming back at you.
I gotta, yeah.
The critical question.
Okay, all right, so superpower. So I just wanted to make sure So superpower. Wow, I'm smiling because you really threw me off. You know what? I don't even.
Let me give you mine.
Okay.
Like, I want to be able to teleport so bad. I want to just be in a situation and just be like, I'm out.
You know what? I might want to. I don't know if I could handle it.
Yeah.
Seems like a fun question, but I get serious with it. Maybe to be invisible, but then what you end up seeing, it might be too hard to handle.
Yeah, that's a gift.
It might really and then, do you expose yourself to? If we go deeper with it, do you say, I'm invisible, so I caught you, or you just keep it a secret? And then I watch all those shows with time travel. I love them. I don't know we don't want to put some stuff out that you have to pay for, but them shows.
Yeah.
And then they're like living forever, and they're indifferent, this and that, and then they're, it's hard to live the regular life because you could pop away into 16, 17, and
right.
then you don't think about those issues. I mean, and we're people of color. I mean, if we go back too far, we could end up getting caught in slavery.
All right. So that's one to grow on. But I thank you so much for just your willingness to be flexible with us, and then just giving us some good energy and new ideas. So thanks again for being my guest, and I'd like to thank Lansing for having us. And
well, can I?
Yes.
I just want to thank you,
yeah.
Because it takes a lot to say, I'm gonna put myself out there and create a platform for others to speak out their purpose, live out their potential, and I want to honor you for that. And anything that people are doing in Lansing that's positive, I'm 100% supportive. Any way I can help out, I'm very excited, and I'm appreciative because there's not many platforms and opportunities that people like myself can come and feel comfortable, feel safe, that we can just have a conversation, and at the end of the day, you're going to highlight us in who we really are versus an agenda or perspective that really is not my mission.
Right.
Which is to uplift Lansing together. I mean it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And with that, thank you for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you sometime in the future. Take care.